Can I find that first?
Hello and welcome to Empire Rugby League. This is Coachy from the Couch with your State of Origin 3, the Decider special. Now, usually it's just me and Wombat, but this time we have some special guests. Badger, you're back.
It's a full house, can't not be here.
It is a full house because we also have the Western Front boys joining us. Sweetie, Beatrix and Morgs, how are you?
Yeah,
Good,
mate.
Yeah, good,
Glue
mate.
all the way, mate. Glue all the way.
Great energy, boys. Great energy.
Same energy New South Wales bought game 2, hey?
Here we go. It started already. Anyway, before we get into the decider, boys, we haven't done this. Wombat and I have been a little bit neglecting our duties. We never did a Game 2 wrap-up. So, did we all go? Did we all attend Game 2 here in Perth?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we all did.
Yeah,
Most of us, anyway.
I did not.
Sweetie was on family duty, so that's forgiven. But I reckon you still would have been parked in front of the TV
Yes.
at home.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So quickly, what do we think? Game 2. How was? I don't care about the game. How was the experience at the game?
Look, footy at Optus Stadium, I think we've all experienced it before. It's not the best venue to watch rugby league, but I think the atmosphere that Origin brought to that venue made it worth going. Like, I think Bear and I were talking about it pre-game. You know, it's not the best experience at the venue, but once we both got there, I think we were both pretty happy to be there watching the game just because of the atmosphere that it brought.
100%. Well, put it this way. That stadium's not built for our game.
Absolutely, I'm not ragging on Optus.
No,
It's
not at all.
not built for rugby league, and that's the main point of
But
it.
for something like State of Origin, you need to have the ability to hold a capacity of 57,000, which HBF can't do.
Oh mate, if you put
So-
Origin at HBF, it'll sell out in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You're never going to look at it.
But
How'd you boys want it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I reckon it's the same, eh? Like, sitting way up in the roof. My biggest complaint about that was the roof was leaking on us, but, I mean, up in the Blues...
you would have been the last one to know, Walks.
Well, no, I was. Blackies, Blues, there's always the random Queensland that decides they want to be a Blues fan for the night, but it's freaking awesome.
Morgs,
like.
it wasn't the roof leaking on you, mate. It was the tears from all the New South Welshmen above you.
I mean, maybe after the end of it, maybe it was, but no, it was amazing. Like, it's... hearing that, New South Wales chant and then the Queensland mumble of whatever they say going around that, that stadium, it does echo, and it was, mate, it's amazing. Better than any crowd I've ever been through for any ping pong.
How was your vantage point, Beatrix?
Mate, the secret is, boys, is you got to go to the Campfield, have 10 pints of delicious Tui's new beforehand, and then the game's good to watch. It's a great game. I know you guys wouldn't understand because you only like to drink mid-strength beer, and then spelt 4X because you don't know how to spell beer.
Wombat, how was your vantage point? I mean, it was only a couple seats down from me, so...
It wasn't too bad. Like, we utilised contacts I had from the East Coast venture, but and again, I've got pretty high expectations from being at State of Origin at Suncorp. Like, that is pretty damn hard to beat. But I think Perth definitely held their own. I think a few people came to this game because they were dragged along, because there was definitely a lot of, like, players that were wearing Queensland scarves or New South Wales scarf. They had no idea what they were doing or what they were watching. Because I think there was a few people behind us that were questioning, like, what happened here? Why are they doing that? It was just like, hang on a minute. Are you here to watch the game or do you get the free?
I think on that point, though, there was a good mix in the stadium of Queenslanders and New South Welshmen. Whether they were from Queensland and New South Wales or from WA watching from an external perspective, there was a good mix. It wasn't separated like you normally see at football games. There was a good mix. Everyone got along really well, and the banter between the fans was also really well done.
I think, to jog out memory, just before, there was a time where Queensland scored and New South Wales scored, but there was 2 rows of New South Wales and Queenslanders, a row of girls and a row of blokes. New South Wales would score, they'd get up and start dancing. But I think it was Nathan Cleary denied try. They were like all sad, and the Queensland blokes all got up and started copying their dance. I was like, oh, that's good banter. But then everyone else that was neutral was sort of like, oh yeah, get behind this.
Yeah.
How's the atmosphere from the couch there, Smithy?
I was going to say, how did it look on TV? Because
It looked pretty good. It did. Yeah. It was good to see the big crowd there. Like, I want to talk about the lead up
it was good to see jerseys around. A lot of people out supporting what was going on. The news of the expansion was still pretty fresh for everybody. So we didn't get a lot of help with the West Australian downplaying what we were doing, which wasn't great to see. But other than that, the footy fans loved it. I love wearing my jersey out and either copping a spray from a Queenslander or getting a slap on the back from a Blues supporter. So, yeah, that lead-up was amazing. Wasn't the view was good on the couch. The result maybe not what we were after.
No, fair enough. Well, I know the bloke to my right, Badger, was on my right on the night and had to slap me to shut me up a few times because I spoiled a few tries for him. But anyway, game 2 done and dusted. Queensland with the 2-point victory, which turns it into a decider tomorrow night. Well, I think by the time this goes out tonight.
Yeah.
So
We all love a decider, don't we?
oh well, it's what I mean. Let's be
It's what
honest.
the NRL loves.
It's,
the
it's
betting
what
agencies
everybody
love
wanted.
it.
Everybody's going to win out of this. So we'll just quickly go through the team changes,
fans.
guys.
The fans win.
Oh, the fans win it, absolutely, everybody. But we'll go quickly through some team changes. New South Wales, Matt Burton has been released from 18th man duties, much to the pleasure of Cameron Serrato and Gus Gould, only to be replaced by Jacob Kiraz, much to the displeasure of Cameron Serrato and Gus Gould. But and Morgs. But other than that, New South Wales are basically 1 to 17, no changes, and Queensland a little bit of a reshuffle. So the Hammer moves to fullback for the first time, and he also becomes the first player ever in a State of Origin series to start each game in a different number jersey. I think he was centre game 1, wing game 2, and now fullback game 3. Am I right, boys?
Yep, he was 4, 5, and now 1.
There you go.
Because Queensland can't count.
Oh, the cheap shots are going to come all night here, folks, so stay tuned. Shibasaki has been called into the centres to debut in a decider away from home.
Against Stephen Crichton.
We will touch more on that further on. Mo Fortawaker has been dropped, and Josh Papali, has been recalled after 2 years of rep footy retirement and has been named to start at prop. The Badger and the Wombat.
The saviour.
There you go. That says it all. And also for Queensland, Ezra Mam has been released from 18th man duties, replaced by Reece Walsh. Boys, I will throw it to Morgs. Your thoughts on the team changes for, well, realistically, Queensland?
I mean, I think Queensland's finally picked the right fullback. They've got 3 fullbacks running around. Reece Walsh was injured for the first ones. He's been no good. Kalen Pong has been no good all year. The Hammer has been good. I think what stopped the Hammer being fullback from the get-go, the fact that their centres are basically crap. Queensland has no centres. Who are the Queensland centres? Like, Toya's been amazing, but he's, 21-year-old, 20-year-old kid, whatever it is. He probably wasn't ready. He's been forced into it. Now, Shibasaki's come from Japan via Townsville and Dunedoo to play for Queensland. So, they've picked the right fullback, but it's taken them 3 games. As for big 321 game Josh from Canberra, you're bringing out the walk and stick, you're bringing out stuff. Great player in form, but seriously?
Mate, he's just played his 321st game and scored 2 tries.
Mate, he'll be playing 15 minutes and then he'll be in the shower at the 16-minute mark. He won't be seen again.
Mate, you could have put your home loan on Josh Papali to score 10 or more of that game, and he's going to show up and he's going to show out against you boys. I tell you what. You're talking about Robert Toya. Yeah, he's a rookie, but he fucking showed it up against you, didn't he? Game 2, they've put him on the field. He's run you around as a rookie.
Yep.
Sweetie, Sweetie, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gobsmacked at the normally soft-spoken Morgs over here. It's just absolutely
I was going to say, we fed him full of fire and brimstone before this one.
That's incredible. Look, I love the idea of Josh Papali coming back. It's great.
It's a great story,
It's a great story. It really is. I mean, what a year he's having. Canberra having a stellar year. He himself having record-breaking games. So,
well, what you're saying does not match the jersey you're wearing, so we would throw to Beatrix. How are you going?
I've just, hammered a fullback. not sure about it. But the other two changes, Shibasaki and Papali'i, and it just screams of desperation for me. He's just trying to find some motivation for the team. Like, they know that they're not good enough, so they're trying to,
I think that's the scary
spark
thing about
something.
The scary
Just trying
thing
to
about it
spark
is
something.
sometimes...
Give him a bit of motivation
Yeah.
with Papali'i coming back in. Give him his last ride before he goes to England. Shibasaki, hoping that a debutant will come out and actually do something. I've got to say that I think Stephen Crichton's going to have a field day and absolutely tear Queensland apart.
Alrighty, well, I'll give Ryder a reply to the Wombat because Badger's already had a few cheap shots. So, Wombat, what are we thinking?
I'll start off with Morgs' comment. So, you talk about Josh Papali'i taking an early mark at 15 minutes, but Max King only played 20 minutes, only ran for 60-odd metres in game 2.
I don't get that. That didn't make sense.
That's what the coach asked of him. So he done his job.
He's only done his
like
job.
a good New South Welshman.
We'll start taking an early shower, not 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's all we needed from him. Keep him
Obviously
fresh
didn't
for
do
game 3.
enough.
Didn't do it early
Keep him
mark,
fresh
so
for game 3. So
get back on the plane.
That's it.
He doesn't
And
like-
the dogs.
he's been under the weather. I didn't want to keep him out in the cold and the rain too long. So
Balmy Perth weather.
keeping him fresh.
Oh, a bunch of softies. But no, like on a serious note, for the centre matchup, and I'll highlight that because obviously debut with Shibasaki, Hammer to fullback is by far probably the best decision that's been made this year. Because concerns around our fullback, who is the fullback? You got Reece Walsh, Ponga, and now Hammer. Out of those three this year, Hammer's the informed fullback for Queensland. I know Queensland doesn't have the full outside back stocks as what New South Wales do. Yes, it kind of screams a little bit of desperation. However, there was a similar thing in 2020 where Paul Gallen called out Queensland worst team ever, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So with this one, I know Beatrix, you mentioned it about Stephen Crichton and Shibasaki matchup. Well, I can actually see a switch happening here with Robert Toyer and Stephen Crichton. Now, if you go back a couple of weeks ago in the NRL, Dogs and Roosters played. Toyer absolutely stopped Crichton and shut him down the whole game.
Yep.
Shibasaki has done the same thing when Broncos played the Bunnies quite a few times. And the resurgence of Shibasaki with the Broncos has been... I know Bear and I called it out earlier in the year, but he has found some form. So I think this debutant is well-deserved. Do I think maybe New South Wales is the best place to debut? I don't think so.
Yeah, look, and off the back of that one, but we'll just I'll just redo some of your points. So the centre matchup is very interesting. I'm actually with you. I think if Billy, now I'm not questioning Billy's football brain because we all know it's elite, but I can see a switch coming. I think Toyer on Crichton is the better matchup for Queensland. And I think Shibasaki on Latrell is the better matchup for Queensland because we all know what Critter does. Critter is skill and class personified. Shibasaki will not be able to handle his footwork or his I suppose, what do you call it?
It's like football essence, isn't it?
Yeah, football essence. I like that
Football
one, Badger.
essence.
Well done. You do realise you just gave a rap to Stephen Crichton, a New South Wales player.
Yeah, he is a good player.
Get him out.
But no, I think that is the better matchup. Whereas Latrell on Shibasaki, I think that's a great matchup because it's big body on big body. There's no finesse there. It is I'm going to run through you or you're going to stop me, and that's on both parties. So
That matchup there, just looking at it, Shibasaki, Xavier Coates, Latrell Mitchell, Zach Lomax.
hey, I'd love to see more of Coates v Lomax in the air. But again, your point on Hammer, I think we said it in our Game 1 preview. Hammer should have been the fullback for the series. Kalen Ponga got the jersey because there was no one else.
But there was also
Let's be honest, his form was
Got a
ordinary.
reputation.
but there was
Yeah.
no one else to go into the centre position either.
Well,
That's
that's the
point.
unfortunate
That's
thing.
my genuine point. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like Hammer had to play centre because who was
That
the
was-
centres, especially with Cobbo out of form, Talangi injured. Like who was?
I mean, you could call the old man Gagai back up.
well, that's it. It's
So-
Gagai. It's Gessie Arthurs was in the squad for the first game. Like that's stretching.
Look, that game that Gagai had after
Yeah.
Game 2 of Origin, he was looking likely for a jersey.
Oh, 100%. Have to agree
He
with
was
that.
hunting. but unfortunately not seeing him and getting Shibasaki over him. I think it's still going to be a really good matchup in the outside backs. I do agree with you. New South Wales do have better outside backs than Queensland do.
Yeah.
But you can't deny the Queensland spirit, can you?
Well, I mean, you left. Well, you didn't even leave home without it because game one was in Queensland. You got dusted, and then somehow you managed to find it in Perth, of all places. So, are you really going to take it to Sydney?
No.
Like the quarantine alone won't let it in.
No,
so.
it's not really.
Oh, look, I'll give you boys this one. You're all wearing blue jerseys, but you bleed red, don't you? So, Queensland spirit will follow you wherever you go. And Queensland, I think we can all agree, being Queensland or New South Wales Welshmen, they just have this thing where when it comes down to times of desperation, they just have this click. They just have this moment where they play up. Whether it's win or lose, there will never be a game where Queensland are coming down to that last moment of desperation and they don't play as hard as they can.
Oh, absolutely. No one will ever deny the Queensland last 10 minutes of a game because I don't know how many times I've sat in front of the TV as a kid and watched New South Wales lose with a 14-point lead in the last 10 minutes of an Origin game. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. But, yes, we all bleed red. But if you maroon blokes actually washed your jersey once a year, it would be blue. So don't blame us for your poor hygiene.
Well, speaking of the jerseys, they're that poorly made that, if it gets pulled a little bit, they turn them white. I don't know what your manufacturers are doing up there, but they're stepping up a little bit.
There's 6 of us sitting around this table right now. There's 3 Blues jerseys. I don't see a Maroons jersey anywhere. That says what it needs to say.
Oh, that is a point, boys.
It's icy.
The boys have come dressed and ready to play. You boys have, I don't know where you are.
And it wasn't even pre-planned. It's just how we roll.
That's how we turn up everywhere.
We'll raise you to that because that's being signed currently by the 8 years in a row Queensland Origin squad right now.
So living in the past, good to hear.
Yeah.
That's how we win, don't we?
I think there's an old adage on the Western Front about previous performance.
Past performance is not an indicator of future performance.
Yeah, you talk about that, but I was late to pick Morgs up on the way here because I was watching the 2005 game too.
Well, talk about living in the past, mate.
Living in the past or Sweeney's tipping?
I was just
But,
yeah, well,
oh, jeez.
Hey man, let's keep this at stake.
Like I said, there's cheap shots flying everywhere, folks. I don't know if I can control this one, but look, we're gonna launch into I don't know who's gonna win and why. Look, I'll try and give the boys 90 seconds each, starting with Morgs. Who's gonna win and why?
New South Wales wins. I think finally Cleary stands up in Origin. Cleary's been the best overall halfback for the last 5 years. The question on him's always been Origin deciders and what he's put out there, put on the ground. So I think this one, Cleary stands out. I think Cleary has a dominant display, and I don't think Queensland can match it. I think outside backs, forwards, I think it works. I think the New South Wales team is stronger in almost every position. And I think they just steamroll them and then spread the ball wide, rack up score.
Fair enough. Alrighty, we might switch it over to a Queenslander Wombat. Who wins and why?
My heart wants to scream Queensland, but on paper, it looks New South Wales. I'm going Queensland purely because that's my team, but on paper, this New South Wales side is probably borderlining the 8 years in a row for Queensland.
So why do Queensland win then? Or how?
Munster. I'm sorry, but Munster. Munster's standing up as we all know what's happened, so I'm not gonna harp on that. But Munster,
just quickly there, Wombat. In a time of all seriousness, on behalf of Empire Rugby League, we do pass our condolences on to the Munster family. It is horrific to lose a parent at any stage, and you know what? I'm a New South Wales through and through, but I am so glad that Cameron's father got to see him captain his state at least once before he passed. So, yeah, our condolences to the Munster family and, best wishes. But anyway, back to throwing shit at each other.
Yeah, it's set up as a fairy tale for Munster to set it up. Game 2, he was man of the match. Game 1, he was everywhere. He was trying to be that energy that he needed, and I think Josh Papali to come back is also another fairy tale. So if it's not going to be Munster, I think setting up Papali is going to be a great move.
Yeah,
because he'll just bring that extra aggression, and that front row between Josh and Tino is that is some big bodies to move. And I know Max King is a big fella, but Payne Haas as well in Origin. It's not a consistent Payne Haas Origin for him, unfortunately. I know he's niggling with it. I think it's a back injury at the moment, or whatever it may be, but he is a hot and cold. He'll have a stellar probably 20, 30 minutes where New South Wales are on top, but then he falls back into the second game. You didn't see much of him or Max King in game 2.
No, that's a fair point. So if Queensland win for Wombat, it's going to be off the back of Munster and Big Papa's energy. So we will go back for another New South Wales point of view. Sweeney, who's going to win and why?
It's going to be New South Wales. They're going to win because they're the better team.
Is that it? That's simple. That's simple.
I think that's the analyst we would expect from Sweeney.
Yeah. Sweeney's had shit tips all year and he's going to tip New South Wales. I'm confident now.
Look, I reckon New South Wales just really need to work on their catch and pass.
It's goal kicking, isn't it?
Especially in the wet.
Yeah, in the wet, yeah. Look, I think... I honestly think Queensland might gas out. I think they're going to come in as strong and as hard as they possibly can, especially off the back of Josh coming in. But I just don't think they'll have the legs at the end of it. Munster will stand up and do what he can, as he's done this whole series. But I don't think New South Wales will bend against the rush of the tide. I really don't.
Fair enough. So who's going to be the player for New South Wales for you that clinches the series?
Yeah, Cleary. Has to be Cleary again. Similar to what Morgs has said, is it the only shadow on his or pretty much stellar resume? Maybe this is the time that he really kicks off. I think he will. I think he's going to be the guy.
All right, we'll go back for another Queensland perspective. Badger, who wins and why?
Mate, you know I'm going with Queensland. I'm not going to not say Queensland, and there's a big reason for that. You boys have got Jerome Luai in 6th. What is going on with Laurie Daly? Why are you keeping this man around?
The Panthers premiership player over.
5-time premiership player with people outside him and inside him like Nathan Cleary and Isaiah Yeo. But now we've taken him away from that. We've seen him at the Tigers. He can't do anything.
But he's with those people.
We've seen him in game 2 with those people. And what did he do? Run backwards, run sideways, throw shit footy, kick it out on the full. He doesn't know what he's doing.
It's a ruse, mate.
You've taken him away from this Panthers side, and now he's lost. Jerome Luai is lost.
But the Panthers combo works.
The Panthers combo did not work in game 2.
It didn't work for 3 years either.
He's lulling you into a false sense of security. Now you're going to think that he's not going to be able to do that, and he'll be sharp. He'll be on point
put
everywhere.
a hit on Jerome Luai, he will not participate for the rest of the game.
Mate, Connor Watson can play 5'8" quite well.
Well, why do you put him in 5'8" then?
Because he's
utility.
You're sitting Connor in 14. Connor is the best choice for 14.
100%.
But
yeah.
Matt Burton.
Well, it's,
I mean, I'd
might be the only question mark about.
Alrighty, Beatrix. Last say, I'm gonna go out on a very, very thick limb and say that you're going to support New South Wales here.
Yeah, definitely New South Wales. I think it comes down to a few things. I think it comes down to how it's officiated. If it's not a stop-start game and the game flows and there's not a lot of stoppages, I don't think Queensland will be able to keep up with the back 5 of New South Wales. And I think with Cleary being back to near full fitness, his kicking game could be the difference.
In general play?
In general play, yep. Yeah, I think the only thing I've got to worry about is Stefano Ukamanu coming off the bench. I probably wouldn't have had him, but other than that, pretty happy with the team. Yeah, my only worry is that Queensland get up for Cam Munster.
I thought
that is a huge concern, and cannot be underestimated. We know what these Queensland mob are like. They band together very easily. It doesn't need to be much. It could be a few black and white words on a bit of newspaper, and they all of a sudden decide to grow 6 feet and turn it on. So this galvanising factor of Munster's sad news is definitely going to strengthen Queensland. My fear is, and I'm going to try and take a neutral road here because I'm trying to host you boys, but at the end of the day, my fear is that, well, it's not a fear. My fear for the game is that Queensland, 100%, they will come out all guns blazing with black armbands on, and they'll do everything right to respect Cameron Munster's father. My fear is that only lasts 40 minutes. They may gas out. They may over-emotionalise the game, and that will lead to possibly a poor second half. Now, I would love for this game to finish 8-6.
A field goal even.
I don't care. Yeah, even if it finishes 1-0. I don't care. I want this game to be like last year's Game 3.
Yeah.
I want this to be a game for the ages. I hope we get it. I do not want a flogging either way. I really think New South Wales will win and win comfortably, but I don't want a flogging either way. I want the best possible product.
You want a game that both sides can walk away from and be like, that was a good game.
Yeah.
Sad we lost or happy we won.
100%.
But that was a good game.
100%. Now, Morgs, Sweeney, you identified Nathan Cleary. I am concerned about Nathan Cleary. I think there's too much on his shoulders, and I have to unfortunately agree with Badger here. I don't think we've picked the right 6 to support Nathan.
No, 100%.
I don't think Nathan needs someone to help him. I think he needs someone to support him. There is a reason we won Game 1 so comfortably with Mitch.
Yeah.
Because Queensland didn't know which kicker to attack on 4th or 5th tackle. In Game 2, it was so obvious, and they were out of the line and putting pressure on Nathan.
Capel did that.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree there. I think Bird.
I really think New South Wales have overlooked that factor.
Yeah.
And the simple fix would have been Burton to fight.
Yeah, he's
We were
already
a bit all over the place with our kicking in the second game. Like Latrell Mitchell was doing kicks.
Yeah,
Well,
well, but that's exactly.
it
But
was
that's
sort of
why.
it was a shit tactic, and like,
But that's why when you only have one dominant playmaker, you need to try
but
and
Cleary
disguise
wasn't
it.
doing long kicking.
Yeah,
either.
because he's
So
done
it was
done
a
his
bit all
own
over the
or whatever
place.
it was and
Yeah.
stuff.
Like, yeah. You don't think that same thing happens at Penrith week in, week out for the last 5 years as well?
Yeah, but he's always had the foil. He's had someone else to kick for him. Mitch Kenny kicks out a dummy half for Penrith.
Dylan Edwards as well.
Dylan Edwards. Nah, Dylan Edwards is not
Dylan
much
Edwards
of a
does
kicker.
too much kicking. But
But
the last 4 years while Luai was there, who else was kicking?
yeah, but it's club footy.
Yeah, still.
Like, some weeks you're going to come up against, no offence, but the Tigers. And then, New South Wales come up against Queensland. Badger was worried that he thought I was going to name the Titans.
I heard the GM was a bit scared.
Even I was worried.
Go with the Tigers, roll with the Tigers.
But that's my concern for the game, is that Queensland will be over-emotional and either ruin it with a sin bin or something silly, or they'll just burn themselves out. And
I hope
then,
it's not decided by someone. I hope it's.
I really
decided by
hope
the
it's not
players
either.
on the
Yeah,
field. There's nothing to complain about from the referee.
No,
But you know what? I actually genuinely think we had a very influential referee performance in Game 1.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a very influential referee performance in Game 2.
That's why they were good to watch. Both of them were
I
shit
think
games of footy, to be honest.
If we have more than 8 penalties for the game in Game 3, I will be a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
I really
No,
I want a
absolutely.
free-flowing game because I think that suits both teams.
It does.
You're looking at this overcorrection of the ship. So,
Yeah.
like earlier in the year, we had.
Yeah.
Well,
Not allowed to say the word, Sweeney. You're not allowed to say the word.
Well, yeah. So now we're going to see it again here. Just to touch on that though, with Nathan Cleary, I think you may be right on that support play. That's what gives Cleary the option to stand up. Mm-hmm. If he's not having to make those decisions every time, that fatigue doesn't set in, and that allows him those moments, like in the grand finals we've seen against the Broncos and that, where he can suddenly just turn this extra gear on that seemingly came out of nowhere. So I can see where your concern is there, but I still think Cleary is more than equal to it, and I reckon they'll be building around that as well.
Oh well, look, let's hope so. For the narrative of Nathan Cleary's career, this has to be the moment where he owns an Origin series, because otherwise, in a couple of years' time, he won't have the number 7 jersey. There's a young kid called Isaiah Katoa who is ready and raring to go in about 3 years' time. And then, personally, I think the 5'8", if Izzy Katoa is the halfback in the future, the 5'8" is Ethan Strange.
And your fullback's KO Weeks.
No, my fullback was someone else. I can't remember. Oh, Lehigh Hopewadi was my fullback. But anyway,
everyone likes is like they compare Cleary and say he hasn't dominated like Johns and stuff have. He's only 27.
100%. But at the same time, he now has young halves snapping at his heels.
Yeah.
So he's only got probably 2 years left guaranteed of being the first pick 7. So he's got to do it, or it's there's some concerning footnotes in his legacy. Yeah. But anyway, boys, we've got to move on. Give me a score prediction for whichever way you want, and we'll have to pass these on to our social media guru, and she'll chuck them up on socials for us. So, Beatrix, score prediction.
New South Wales 34-10.
Jesus. Morgs.
22-10 to New South Wales. Kurt Mann, first try scorer.
Sweet.
Starting hooker.
Jesus, okay.
All right, everybody disregard the last bit of Morgs' prediction there, considering Kurt Mann will be coming off the bench in the number 14 jersey. Sweetie, your score prediction.
Yeah, New South Wales, it'll be 28-18.
28-18, and then we'll go to the Queenslanders. Wombat.
I've got 13-12 to Queensland.
I really love that scoreline, just not in the favour of Queensland. Badger.
Yeah, look, I'm sort of on the same path as you. I've got 16-14 to Queensland, possible penalty goal at the end of the game there.
No, that's disgusting.
All of that counted on one hand, boys?
Hey, we don't want a penalty goal to decide it.
Said it here first, all right?
You've heard it his second.
Eyes on Tommy Dearden, all right? That's all I'm saying for this game.
Yeah, New South Wales, do not take a Tommy Dearden show and go. Do not take a Tommy Dearden show and go. Do not take a Tommy Dearden show and go.
We were just talking about the past and the future. Eyes on Tommy Dearden this game, boys.
Oh, he is the future 7. 100%. He should have that locked in for a while.
If they take Tom Dearden's show and go, Munster's going to have a field day.
Yeah, that's very true.
He's going to be like, all right, let's play.
Not that anyone cares, boys, but I'll throw my score out there. New South Wales to win 28-8.
Oh, you've actually picked New South Wales.
Oh, 100%.
Hang on.
I got the text message earlier in the week, like New South Wales are winning this one.
Wait until the social media girl puts up the post and we'll see what
you reckon I'll flip it? We'll see what happens.
It'll be half and half jersey, won't it?
I think you boys like what I said to the group last time. Altering Beatrix's score prediction. Putting a Queensland emblem over his little score prediction. About half time, then unfortunately fell apart a little bit. Still got the win.
You were very jovial in the stands at halftime. Boys, a man of the match, not man of the series, man of this match. So man of game 3. Morgs, who you got? Man of the match.
Stephen Crichton.
Critter. Beatrix.
Stephen Crichton.
Critter.
Yeah.
Sweeney.
Cleary.
Nath. Yep. All right. And Wombat.
Tom Dearden.
Tommy D. And Badger.
Eyes on Tom Dearden.
Oh, Queenslanders
Eyes
are going
on
hard on
Tommy
Tommy D.
His eyes are closed.
Eyes on Tommy Dearden, mate.
Yeah, his eyes are closed.
He's visualising.
I'm just watching that dummy and run. He's gone straight through the line. He's in for 4. Oh.
Alrighty, boys. Again, not that anyone cares, but I'm gonna.
Stefano.
For Queensland.
That's a fair possibility.
Yeah, for Queensland, Ashley Klein.
I was going to say, I'm surprised Beatrix didn't say Ashley Klein for me.
No, look, the Bears going to pick
Terrell May.
Zachy Lomax.
Oh.
Goal
I think,
Not for his goal kicking, obviously.
Well, I think the goal kicking may
Lomax.
just remedy itself, and we might see a few aerial acrobatics as well.
It's not because he plays for Parramatta.
100%. 100% it is. If Mitch was playing and fit, it'd be Mitch. But anyway, man of the series, boys. Now, this one is always contentious, but I would love a man of the series prediction from Morgs.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't think Payne Haas was man of the match in the game one.
So Payne?
But yeah, I'll go Payne Haas just because I guess game one counts and game two.
Well, it's a series, so yeah, game one counts.
That's right.
Beatrice.
Can't count, hey?
Brian To'o.
Brian To'o. I'll tell you what, he didn't have to do much for his 3 tries in game 2. All they had to do was, run
Put his hands up.
6 metres and put the ball down. But
Sweeney could have scored that.
Just a bit of catch.
You reckon?
I don't know. I think Sweeney needs to work on his catch and pass a
pass.
little bit.
To'o had to run 5 metres. Sweeney would have got run down.
Say,
Sweeney's got to work on his tackle technique first.
Oh! Okay, Sweeney, man of the series prediction.
Look, I'm going to go with the storyline that's set up. It's going to be Munster.
So you're going for New South Wales to win 28-18. Nathan Cleary man of the match, but Cameron Munster man of the
For the
series.
series, yeah.
Billy
I still
Slater.
think it's
I
going to do a
don't
great job.
think it's that. That's.
I was going to say,
Okay.
2018 Billy Slater flashback?
Yeah, that's
No, I
Well,
think
Billy
it's
played his
going
game and a
so
half or
well.
something.
Yeah,
He
when
did,
he played 2 games and they lost
Yeah.
one, won one.
yeah, fair enough. Wombat man of the series.
I've got Tino.
Strange pick there.
I tell you what, he's going to have a stormer in game 3 to pick up man of the series.
I think the effort he's put in, I'm not confident on it because I want to go. The storyline says Munster.
Yeah, it does.
Everything does, but the effort behind Tino and what he's been able to do after come back from a knee injury, that to me is a storyline.
That's fair, but you know what? I'll back you in for him to be maybe Queensland's player of the series.
Yeah, is that that's not Wally Lewis?
No, Wally Lewis is player of the
Yeah,
series
yeah.
in whole. That's what we're... Anyway, Badger, player of the series.
Yeah, I'm going with you,
Yeah,
Sweeney,
$71.
mate. It's all set up for Munster.
Cam Money Munster. Well, again, not that anyone cares.
Oh, we can, come on.
Oh, the best.
It's not like you're not going to say it.
This is where, where he picks Ashley Klein.
No, never. Actually, to be honest, man of the series, I'm going to have to say a New South Wales player because I've got them winning the series 2-1. The story says Cleary. I think if we win, it has to be Nathan. But I don't like putting the pressure on him because everybody knows my luck. If I put a bet on, the bloke's
Don't
probably
say
going to have a broken leg by the end of the game. So I will
Don't
back.
say it.
Yeah, look, I see your role there. Like, if New South Wales win, it has to be Cleary.
Well,
And if
that's what I'm thinking.
If Queensland win, it has to be Munster.
Yeah. So
It's a very tough decision.
I'm going to go Cleary, and it also helps that no one else has picked him either, so I'm going to look like a genius.
Or an idiot.
Oh, I would look like an idiot every day of the week. But anyway, boys, anything to add? Any last shots across the bow? Let's go.
They're already wearing blue. I don't have anything else to say.
Badger's picked his side, but down the straight of this, I know game 1 was controversy. Game 2, same thing again, just the other side of the coin. I want this game to be what Origin was meant to be about.
100%.
Be down the middle, physical. Like, again, let the little niggles go.
Put the whistle away.
Yeah,
Like the last 2
100%.
deciders were.
Yeah.
Last 2
Yeah.
deciders have been great.
This is not a club game.
No, take it back to that physicality of, like, you go out on that field, you are going to murder the person wearing the blue, wearing the maroons. You are going out there to hurt. This isn't about winning 2 points at the end of the game. Realistically, both parties are in the same boat. They're trying to win a shield. You got bragging rights for 12 months after this.
Yep.
That's what you're fighting for. Not 2 points or a cup at the end of the year or anything like that. You're winning bragging rights right now and a shield that doesn't get held by very many people.
I think the legacy of Origin speaks for itself, and that's what we want to see here in this game.
Yeah,
There's
100%.
nothing else like it. I know they use it as such a cliched marketing tool for this game, but there is nothing else like this in the world. And we want to see the legacy of this game in that way. So.
Let the boys play.
Yeah, I mean, if New South Wales win back-to-back series, there's probably going to be talk of Origin being dead again. So
Yeah, it
See-
sort of
see-
seems to happen
see-
like that.
yeah,
New South
we'll see what
Wales
happens.
win 2 or 3 on the trot,
Yeah.
and apparently Origin's dead.
Yeah.
Queensland win 8 in a row, and the chat never happens.
dynasty.
Yeah, it's like, hang on a minute. But anyway,
I think
Morgs?
I think that's it. You want a good game. You want an Origin game. You don't just want the games you've sort of seen the first two. But I think if Queensland loses, the team they pick for game one next year looks very different.
Yeah, it
And-
could be very much a young, emerging team.
young team for the future, and Kurt Mann first try.
Well, hang on, boys. Just to round it out, and it's with no notice. If Queensland lose this series, is that the end of Billy Slater as Queensland coach?
Yes.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Ben Eichen has already come out and said he will be the coach next year.
No.
I don't think
I'm not saying QRL want to get rid of him. I'm saying does Billy walk off his own accord?
I think
So what's it? Is this his 4th year or 5th year? Fifth year.
5th year.
I think there's a job as a national coach.
Yeah,
That now, see,
Australian.
Morgs, you're picking up what I'm putting down here.
I think Origin coaches should only have a short period of time. I don't think you should have a long coaching period in Origin. So
Yeah, judging on the New South Wales selections, I'd agree with you there.
Just one more shot, wasn't it?
Got to get them all in while I can.
Anyway, we will be watching this game with bated breath, and as always, folks, enjoy your rugby league, but even more so, enjoy the Origin tonight. I'm going to say this may be released on Wednesday, but until then, yeah.
if you're my neighbours, don't call the cops.